Hey, welcome back, my amazing students. I'm so glad that you guys are here. So today we're gonna do something really exciting. We're gonna create another model for our application. So why do I say it's exciting? Because you're gonna learn really cool things. You're gonna learn new things in here, all right? So let's go to the app file here real quick. And I want you to pay attention to something here real quick. All right, you see that we have a model here. This is the structure of how our table actually is in the database. Now, I'm gonna give you a better tool than actually looking into the SQLite viewer. All right, I'm gonna give you something a little better for database because we're gonna be doing a lot of database later on when it comes to our applications. So let me go into the browser here real quick, and I'm gonna go to Google, and let me see if I remember the SQLite browser. I think that's the name. Right here. Yep. Click on download and go ahead and download the version that corresponds to your computer. For example, for me, I'm using a Mac. I'm going to download this. Well, I already have it. I was actually looking. I got different tools in my computer, a bunch of different tools, but I was looking for something that was free and that was available to you guys for any operating system. And it looks like this one is for Windows, Mac OS, and even Linux. And you can install it with Brew or whatever you want, all right? I mean, everything is right here, all right? It's universal. Anyway, I'm gonna show you how this looks, all right? I think I had it open somewhere, right here. And you can see that it looks like this. I made the fonts a lot bigger because they were very small. All you have to do is go to settings for that specific app. Sorry about that, my alarm was about to go off. So go to settings and you can change the font size, on everything here. I put everything on 17 because I have big monitors, all right? But you can change the font size for everything there, all right? So pretty cool things. All you have to do is go in here and go to the specific file on your project, all right? This is gonna it's gonna open up Finder or whatever program is, in whatever program you got on your computer, and you're gonna go into that specific file, which is this one right here. Right? And you're gonna go and click on that and open it up. All right, I'm gonna do it on my side and you're gonna see how it looks. All right, watch this. All right, so I started doing it already, and I went all the way into my project right here, and I'm gonna go to instance and click on this guy here, and I'm gonna open this up, and you're gonna see how this actually looks. You can see that, and we can see that we have two different tables. We got a Alembic version. This is the migration tools that we got that produce this, and we got the post with its columns here, ID, title, body, and created at, right? And later on, we're gonna see the data. But anyway, so this is a tool that you can use, all right? There are so many different tools out there. Anyway, let's go back here. And what I wanna do is I wanna create another model here. And the other model that we're gonna create is gonna be the comment model. So we're gonna have a comment attached to each post. And those comments are gonna be related to the post. So this is gonna be called the one-to-many relationships because it's gonna have one post can have many different comments, but one comment can belong to a post, all right? But anyway, you're gonna find out about that later, learn more about this stuff. I'm gonna show you everything, guys, I promise. So I'm gonna just copy and paste here, and I'm gonna create a new name for it, of course. And let's see the columns that we actually need in our database. So we need an ID, and it needs to be primary, so we're good here. We need not a title, we need an author, right? Whoever is writing this comment. And this is gonna be a string, 200 is too much, maybe 120 characters, all right? We need a body for the comment, that's fine, text is fine. And created that, we needed that. And now we're gonna work on relationships. This is gonna be really exciting. Let me just change this real quick before I forget. This is gonna be comment right here. And this is the ID. And this is gonna be, instead of the title, what I wanna see when I'm actually doing this for debugging purposes, I wanna see, as a matter of fact, hold on. I'm gonna write a string here. I'm gonna say on post. And we're gonna expose the post ID here, right? So we can see it. All right, that's done. Here, what I want to do, let me put a comment here. I want to work on relationships. Relationship to post. All right, so we're gonna have a post ID in this comment table. So we're gonna start with column. As a matter of fact, column, yeah. It's gonna be an integer. And this one here, though, is going to be a foreign key, okay? Meaning that it doesn't belong to us. It belongs to a different foreign guy. It belongs to a post, all right? So we're gonna say the capital F, foreign, like this, key, with uppercase K, all right? All right, so hopefully we're writing this correctly, G, and yeah, should be good. So this is a function actually, or a method, and we're gonna put the post ID in here just like that. Well, actually, like this, post ID. We put a little space here and we do nullable, and we're gonna do false, uppercase F, all right? Remember that. All right, so what else? Now we need now that we have that, we need to make the relationship. So this is how we are relating it, right? We're gonna keep in the comment, we're gonna keep a post ID always, so that way we can relate them. But now we gotta define the relationship. So we say, hey, the post, and this is how we do it, relationship. There we go. And we're gonna name it post. That's how we're gonna, and I'll explain this to you in a minute. I explained all this to you. Let me just write it here. This is the DB back ref. And the reference would be, we're gonna be referencing the comments table. Now behind the scenes, this is gonna make the comments in the data, the table is gonna be named comments. As a matter of fact, I think we can see it here. Table post actually, no, actually created this to be post, singular. All right, so yeah, this is actually not doing. We can actually make it plural if we wanted to, but that's another episode. All right, so let's do cascading. So when we delete a post, it's gonna cascade and delete the comments, right? So we're gonna say all, and we're gonna pass this delete. And what is the name of this? Hold on, we're gonna pass these options. So we're gonna delete all and orphan, and then we're gonna pass in, actually it's outside this here. Yeah, lazy dynamic. And well, I'll explain this to you in a minute. Dynamic. Hopefully I got it correctly. We'll find out in a minute if this is actually working or not, guys. All right, let me try my best to explain it to you guys. It's in the most simplest way, all right? So first things first here, this guy here, right? Let me explain, well, I already explained this to you, right? We're gonna keep an ID of a post in here. That would be the post ID, right? So we're gonna say, we're gonna target, well, this is gonna be the ID of the post in here. Okay, so every comment belongs to a post, all right? Simple as that, okay? And this one here, the nullable false, you cannot have a comment, you cannot have a comment without a post, as simple as that, right? So this is gonna enforce the integrity, all right? Now, this here would be the relationship here, and this here, all right? This is just the reference, all right? A comment is gonna belong to a post. Simple as that. And a post is gonna have many different comments. Now this back ref here, okay? What this is going to do, this is, and let me see this. This is not an M, this is not an M, but an N. This here, this back ref is just gonna give us a shortcut, all right? So we can say something like this, watch. We can say post comments. Simple as that. This is gonna give you a shortcut to query all the post, all the comments for this post, right? Post comments. That's what this back ref is actually doing, okay? Now, this cascade all if you delete a post, this is going to delete all its comments, okay? No orphan rows, they're not gonna be orphans. So that's why we have delete orphan here, right? Now this lazy dynamic here that we have, so basically this is gonna make our queries a lot more efficient because instead of loading all comments immediately, it's gonna give us an object that we can use when we have a lot of comments, and it's just gonna be more efficient when we're querying things, all right? That's what this lazy dynamic is. It's gonna make our queries a lot more efficient. Simple as that. Okay, so now we're gonna make a migration. Let's go back in here, and now let's do this. And I think my application is actually off right now. Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's do Flask, and let's do DB migrate. And let's pass an M flag here for the model, right? And we're gonna say add comment. All right, enter. Boom. When you see done, that means you did a good job. If you don't see that and you get some type of error, check your spelling here. All right, just make sure that you have all this correctly. All right, let's do that right here. Now we're gonna do Flask DB upgrade. Simple as that. And boom, done. So now that we go back here, if we wait a little bit, it should actually come out, as you can see here. Or you can just click here, keep clicking, and you should be able to go. You can see now that we have that there. Or if you want, and I'm not very good with this one. I'm not saying I'm not very good, but I don't use this tool a lot, so I don't know how to refresh it. Maybe you can right click and say browse table or something. Anyway, you just got to play around with it, okay? Anyway, let's go back to the data structure here. You have the data here. There's the refresh button right here. All right, and you're gonna see that in there. Okay, let me keep this down here because it might be useful that we are on the same page. All right, anyway, guys, I think that's it for this lecture, really. Thank you so much for watching. Be consistent. If you like my tutorials and you want more data, more information, more knowledge, give me a like, share it with your friends. My job here is to make you guys the best as possible, the most successful. Hopefully, you guys can continue your learning process, and I'll be a part of your journey in life with Python and all the technologies. Thank you for taking the time to take my courses. I'll see you guys on the next lectures.